Hey, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Petrinovich, joined as always by my co host, Kelly Gilster.
Hey guys, thanks again for joining us for another week. Taylor, how are you? What do we have going on?
I'm great. Honestly, so much going on. This fall is jam packed. We are recording this in nearly real time. So, as of recording, it is September 18th, and this should be going live like 5 days later. And yeah, lots going on in life, in the cinematography business, in Level Up land. It's just like so full and fun. I'm coming off of probably the biggest wedding I've ever shot, realistically. It was like 27 hours of coverage over 3 days, just like pure insanity in the best way. And we're actually going to be doing a like debrief series where Kelly and I kind of go through some of our recent weddings and talk through like what happened during the weddings, how we worked through different things, and give you like an inside perspective. So like stay tuned for that. But our guest today is actually a really talented filmmaker based out of Texas. His name is Mark Keysor, and it was just so much fun getting the chance to talk to him.
Mark is just so great. I hope that you guys just get a sense for his fun personality. It was so great to get to know him over the past 12 weeks inside of our spring mastermind program. He has just taken action, done all of the things, and he'll walk you through, the start of when he started filming weddings way back in 2012, 2013, to taking a little bit of a hiatus and then realizing where his new North Star is and the actions that he took to like really start to make it happen for himself in a way where 2026 is a completely different business year than what he experienced in 2024 and 2025. So he walks you through all of it. It's going to be a really, really inspiring episode. So we're excited for you to hear his story. But Taylor, we have another really big announcement as well. What is that?
Yeah, we've been having fun over here with some new free trainings, and we have one last one to close out 2025. I feel like right now more than ever, we are really putting on our planning hats for the 2026 season, and so we are excited to announce we are going to be doing a free 2-day training in October called Your Most Profitable Year Yet. Now, of course, we are all about the artistry behind the work that we produce as filmmakers and as photographers, or as a planner if you're listening to this and you're in the planning realm. Actually, content creators have been hopping on board the podcast too. So we're talking to all of you. We all love kind of making sure that artistry side of our personalities and our businesses are fulfilled, but we really do need to take care of the profitability side as well. And with inflation rates going crazy, like you really do need to be raising your prices every single year and aiming for a higher revenue point, because the purchasing power in your life like requires that to keep up with inflation, let alone just building, a more full life for yourself and being able to spread the love to people in your life as well. And all of that does come down to income and money. And so we want to be walking you guys through our philosophies and what we are doing in order to make sure each year, year after year, is our most profitable year yet, so that we are continuing to grow. And so we would love to invite you into that free training. It's going to be taking place the week of October 14th. It'll be 2 days. You can find all of the information at thelevelupco.com/workshop, and you can save your seat inside there as well. Again, just so refreshing, I feel like, to be putting out like new trainings, things we've never talked about before. And so we're excited to see you guys inside.
Yes. So join us for your most profitable year yet, where we're going to be giving you the tips, the strategies, and really what needs to happen in order for you to be able to raise your prices in a way that doesn't feel like you're begging your clients to pay your rates, but they are actually like quickly, and actually Mark talks about this inside of his episode, where he felt like for so long he was like trying to convince his clients of the investment that they should spend with him. And now through a lot of the, things that he's done in his business over the last 12 weeks, he's like, wow, people are literally just like booking on the spot. He talked about a DM that he got where they booked within like a few minutes and like sign the line, sign the dotted line, and that was it. And so we want you guys to experience the same. If you're sitting here being like, dang, it has felt tough to book out my 2026 year, hop into this 2-day training. We're really excited to bring lots of value within it so that you're able to just really start to ride this next wave of inquiries coming into booking season, to ensure that 2026 is your most profitable year yet, and that you see success in your income unlike other previous seasons. So head over once again to thelevelupco.com/workshop. You'll be able to find that link in the show notes as well. And we look forward to seeing you inside. So let's actually get started into Mark's episode. He is so amazing, and we're really excited for this one.
This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
Well, Mark, we are so excited to dive into this conversation with you.
I'm so excited to be here. I have to tell you guys, when I got back into doing like wedding videos, like the first thing I started doing was listening to podcasts, and your podcast was the first one. So I think it was 2023 summer-ish. So Kelly, I think you were kind of new. And so, yeah, just every morning I would go on my walk, I'd throw you guys in my headphones, and I was just like, I'm going to get on this podcast. So a little bit of like a dream come true, a little manifestation. So I'm really, really excited to be here.
We love a full circle moment. So that's so fun. Mark, for the listeners, can you tell us about yourself, what you do, what market you serve, and where you're based? And then we'll get into it, but I want to hear about like your return back to weddings in a bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you kind of hinted at that. So I'm Mark Keysor. I'm located currently in Fort Worth, and so I serve the Fort Worth and Dallas market, but I'm originally from Utah, born and raised. And so everyone always asks me, they're like, what are you doing leaving Utah and going to Texas? And that's a great question. It's beautiful there, but I love the people of Texas, and I've recently got back into wedding videography after a bit. I spent about 5 years off and then came back to it. I kind of refound my passion for it. And so, yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. I have no connections here in like the Dallas market. So it's truly building from scratch. It's an interesting dynamic of like I'm new and not new at the same time. Like I have these things. I've done weddings before, but it's very much like a beginner's got to get your feet wet, do whatever you can, get scrappy. And so, yeah, I was very firmly in the budget market, and we're working our way out, and I got to work with you guys directly, and it's been an amazing experience. And so that's like the quick rundown. Yeah, I'm a videographer. I don't think I mentioned that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mark, for those listening, was such a fun student, you guys. I looked forward to you. So for those who don't know, within our Mastermind program, we split the groups in half because we want to be able to keep the class sizes small so that we can give those individualized attention and get to know the students a little bit more than just one big class, where we may not be able to recognize faces as much and understand where they are throughout the program. So Mark was in our group A, which is like our earlier in the morning group, which was great.
Group. What? It was the better group. Group A, it's better. I get it.
It was the lively group, and it was so great to have you guys in that one, and you specifically because it was early for us over here on the West Coast. And so to like hit the ground running with some teaching, with some students that were just like fun, and you were like throwing, jokes in the chat all the time. And we just like appreciated you so much. Like, I can't tell you how many conversations Taylor and I would have where we're like, Mark's just hilarious. We love him. So just thank you for that. I don't think I've had a chance to tell you how much we appreciated that. And it's really exciting to have you now back in the industry and rebuilding. So let's talk about maybe what sound like you probably went through a little bit of a burnout phase, and then you realized you're reigniting with some new exciting changes with this new rebrand and the direction you want to go. So I'd love to hear about that journey.
Yeah. So I started kind of around when you did, Kelly. So it was like 2013, around that time, 2012, 2013. I remember I was just scrolling on Facebook and a wedding video popped up. And this was like the first wedding video I'd ever seen. And I was blown away. Because I've always loved movies and films. Like I've always been a nerd. Like one of the first things I got when I wanted to get into video stuff, I wanted to do like special effects. So I bought like this fat 700-page Adobe CS4 like book, and I went through every single page. I did every single thing. And so I'm a nerd in that sense. And so when this wedding video popped up, I'm like, oh, like this is someone who's just down the street from me. They're creating beautiful work. And so like it just opened up my mind to what was possible with the new technology at the time. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in it. And so I was fresh in like this little college town in southern Utah. It's called St. George. It's about 30 minutes away from Zion. So there's not much going around, but I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. And so instead of using my grant money and student loan money, I just threw it towards buying a camera. I ended up buying like a T2i, and that eventually got me to the Canon 5D Mark II, which I love that thing. Like that thing holds a special place in my heart. And so I kind of just hit the ground running. And with Utah not being really established yet, like it was just very easy for me. Like no work was necessary for me to get going. I was just getting bookings, and I just, like everyone else, slowly raised my prices. And I had like a vision. I'm like, I like these people, like at the time, like Ryan Hinman. I know he's still in the market.
Yes,
Ryan Hinman. I'm blanking on another name. Blonde, short guy. He's awesome. Anyway, both great. And so I'm like, oh, they're doing awesome work. I wish I could remember his name because he's the nicest guy, and he does a good job. It'll come Kel Fitch. Do you know Kel Fitch?
Sounds super familiar. Cool.
Yeah, they were both like pre in the industry before I was doing stuff, and they were doing amazing work. And I'm like, oh, if I can get to that level, I'm good. And so like that was my North Star. And so I just kept going, and I got to that level pretty quickly. But I was undercharging. I think the most of the time I was averaging about $1,500 a wedding, $1,800 a wedding, because truthfully, I didn't have a ton of confidence in myself.
The
But
Utah
also
market's also a little tricky compared to other places in the US.
exactly.
Yeah, it is.
It's a wedding farm in its own right. It just busts out those Mormon weddings like constantly, which luckily for me, I was able to move past that because it's hard to build a name without being able to film like ceremonies and things like that. You don't really have a ton of substance. But yeah, it's a wedding farm. Everybody's uncle, cousin, whoever has a camera. And so like they don't really want to invest in that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, the market just really hadn't developed. And so I was just burning myself out, charging $1,800. I was making 35 grand a year. It's just like, what am I doing? I'm fairly newly married. So about 3 or 4 years into it, I had the feeling I'm like, everyone else kind of goes through this phase of like, now that I've established myself and I'm good at this trade, I need to do commercial work because weddings aren't legit. And so that was kind of the mindset I had looking back on it. And so like anything in life, I never ease into things. I'm always like full swing. And so I just kind of cut things off, went into it with no game plan. That didn't really work out. I ended up getting like a job working for like a life insurance company doing graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer, but sometimes you can just charm your way into things. But it just made me realize like that wasn't for me. And so I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I think it's important to kind of like paint the picture. And I think a lot of people might relate to this, but yeah, I just found that I wasn't a good employee. Like I'm good for about 6 months, but I realized I'm like, man, I'm doing all these work and I'm doing all these things, but I could be doing that for my own business. And so it's hard for me to like stay in it. And so a year later, I decided to quit. Again, no plan in mind, just rip the Band-Aid off, go for it because I'm impulsive like that. And so I was not sure what I wanted to do. I was kind of thinking about going like the commercial cinematography route, becoming like a DP, hired a coach, did all those things, but my mindset wasn't right. And so my wife, she actually does eyelash extensions. And so she had made a name for herself in the industry, training others. And she was traveling all over the US and Canada and all these different places. And so it was just kind of like a thing of inspiration. I was sitting in the shower one day and this idea of like, oh, we should do an online course for her. And at the time, no one was doing an online course because eyelash extensions, you're working with millimeters, right? And so it's like a very hands-on thing. And so people are like, no, you can't do this online. You can't do this online. So we were one of the first ones to do it. And that day I jumped out of the shower. I got my wife. I'm like, hey, I got this great idea. Let's do this online course. And so she had a little studio at the time. And so we shot a quick promo video for our pre-order. We're like, hey, it's $47. We haven't created the course yet. It'll be done in 3 months. Sign up if you want. And so we started doing like Facebook ads and they took off immediately. And it was like $700 that first day and then thousands. And so we're hitting like $10,000 months. I'm like, what is going on? It was a little stressful because it was kind of a gray area because she's kind of under contract with this other company that she's phasing out with training. And so we're like, yeah, we don't want to get sued or anything because they were sue happy.
Oh, no.
And so we were kind of treading a little bit. And so she had built her name up, but she was getting all these sales just through ads. So these were people that she had never even met. And for me, like, I know, I'm sure you guys feel this too. It's like that dopamine hit. You pull on the slot machine and you see it come in. You're like, oh, these sales are coming in. And being me, I've got an addictive personality. So I was like, yeah, let's go all in. And so I went the whole course route. We did that for 5 years.
Okay,
But
wow.
yeah, but truthfully, like it was my thing. It wasn't my wife's thing. And so there's always
Mm.
kind of like this tension. Like we do well, and then we
She
wouldn't.
was
And
the
like,
talent and you were like the mastermind
yeah,
behind it kind of thing. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, because
Yeah.
my wife, she's so magnetic. She's just one of these people that you're instantly drawn to. And so I could obviously see that. I'm like, hey, with a little guidance, let's take this ray of sunshine and we can do amazing things. And we did to a certain point, but there's always just kind of this friction. And so truthfully, like it kind of affected our marriage and things like that. And I was just constantly navigating this thing because I was just trying so hard to make it work. And so we did that for a few years. And then finally she's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, yeah, we had all this success you've made. We're known in the industry for these online courses, but I can't just do it anymore. And so I decided, I'm like, oh, well, we've done amazing things with these online courses. So why don't I teach other people in the beauty industry how to do it? And lo and behold, it was just a lot of helping people get
Yeah.
out of their own way. And so like I wasn't seeing results because I just wasn't the right messenger ultimately. And so I did that for a few years. And it was just one of those things where you're full on the gas pedal, you're just pushing, but at the same time, your foot's on the brake, whether you realize it or not. And so it's just grinding and you're just forcing your way through it instead of seeing that I was out of alignment and like this wasn't truly lighting me up. And so by this point, we had moved away from Utah, and then I decided to go to Texas because my wife her sister had been living here for a few years. We checked it out, it seemed great. We're like, we need to do something different. We need to change. And so again, ripping the Band-Aid off like we always do, we just went full force and full send into it, because we don't have kids or anything like that. Like now's the time to do it, to get out of like the Utah bubble essentially. And so, yeah, we did that, but it was just tough. I was just trying to make this thing work that wasn't working. And so we got to the point where I smile saying this because it's going to sound so ridiculous and woo-woo and whatever else, but we ended up doing a mushroom little trip journey. As amazing as this is.
Goodness, Mark, hilarious.
Did you guys expect this on the podcast? Like, because
No.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth, and I'm into it. I'm like, let's go, Mark.
that's my favorite thing. I love surprising people. If I can shock them in any way, like it's perfect. So I'm glad this is entertaining for you. So yeah, we decided to do a little mushroom trip just to kind of figure ourselves out. And so we did what's considered like a hero's dose. So I think
Is
I
that
did
a lot or a little?
We have
That's a
no
lot.
idea.
Okay,
So,
okay, that's a lot.
so
Okay.
So there's levels to it. Like right now, like microdosing is a big thing. And so like you take
I've
like
heard of that.
a fraction of it and it kind of it helps with PTSD. There's like a lot of health benefits to it. And so a hero's dose, instead of like taking a milligram, you're taking grams. And so I took 5 grams. And so anything over 3 is considered like a hero's dose, a hero's journey. Like you're
I
going to go
love
on a
the
journey.
branding behind it, man.
I know, right? It's not for the faint of heart. I'll put it that way. And so, because I'm just one of those people, I don't know, for whatever reason, I have a high tolerance. Going to the dentist, numbing me up for anything, they're always surprised where I'm like, yeah, I can still feel this. And they're like, seriously? And so they like numb me up even more. So same concept was kind of in my mind for the mushrooms. And so it was a great experience. My wife had figured out a lot of things. And then after she kind of went through her whole thing, mine kind of set in a little bit. It wasn't like I was seeing cartoons or anything like that, but it made me realize like it shed the ego, it shed the voice in your head of like, who are you? And the thing that just kept coming back to me is just like, why are you dimming your light to fit in with these other people? Like you have so much to offer, you have so many great gifts, but you keep lowering yourself to fit in. You keep trying to make it work within this industry, and like that's just not you. You have so many better things to do. And again, at that moment, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I cut everything off, did it. I had students and whatever else, and I'm like, okay, I'll just kind of phase them out. We got a little bit of coaching, but after that, I'm done. And so like I kind of cut things out, but it was a hard time because there was no next thing. It was just like pure, I was just trying to stay open to it instead of like forcing some identity. Because I think we get so wrapped up in these labels of like, I'm a videographer, I'm a luxury videographer. Like, but at its core, like I didn't want to force anything. I didn't want it to be what everyone else, like what society is like, this is success. This is what you should be doing. I was trying to find something that actually felt in alignment with me. And so it was hard. There was a couple months where I just didn't know what to do. And this was the first part of 2023. And so I just sat with it. And my wife, bless her, like every day she would come home and she wasn't sure, like, is he going to be in a good place or a bad place? Because those mushrooms, man, they linger. And but it was such an impactful thing, and I'm so glad that I did it. And so finally it got to the point of, I like creating things. I like being around people. I like sharing my light and being happy. And I had gotten away from those things. Like I'd gotten calloused and angry, and I just was kind of a shell of myself. And I wanted to get back to that happy, bubbly person. And so I decided to lean into that. I'm going to show up. I'm going to make people's day better. Instead of letting people dictate how the day goes, I'm going to show up and kind of set the standard and make it fun and happy instead of being stressed and whatever else. And so that was kind of my goal, is I'm just going to show up and do whatever I want to do, because I knew that, like, creating something, that visual thing, I kept up with the cameras and all the new tech, and I'm like, the passion's still there. Let's do it. And so I just dove in and I got scrappy. I started messaging people on Instagram, like, of brides and couples I'd booked with photographers. I'm like, oh, they're kind of good. Like, maybe I'll message them and see if, like, they want some video. I'll give them a discount. And so I went in completely with this mindset that I mentioned in Level Up, of the personality hire. Like, I didn't have the portfolio. Like, the thing that set me apart, back in 2017, 2016, like, that was everyone's standard now. Like, nothing, like, I wasn't standing out. Like, I was below the standard at this point. So I had really nothing to show. And so I had to build up my portfolio. And so I got scrappy, and I'm like, I'm going to let my personality lead the way. If I can get them on a phone call, then hopefully I can book them. And so that just was my mindset up until working with you guys. It was just, I felt like I had to charm my way into getting these bookings. Like, I didn't feel like my work was speaking for itself. I knew I was good and I could get there, but I just didn't have the confidence to let that lead things. And I relied on my personality, because that's what I've always done. Like, I've always been the class clown. I've always been these things. So it's been a very useful crutch.
Well, I think it's good. I mean, you leveraged what you had, and you were able to
Exactly.
identify, like, this is actually my differentiator. And for some people, it is the work, and some people, it's the brand or the location that they're based. And at the time, that was just your differentiator, and you leveraged it. I honestly, like, I appreciate the scrappiness. I think that this industry, like, could use a little bit more scrappiness, because we get a lot of people who just are coming to us and they're like, I don't know why I'm not booking weddings. I don't know why I can't grow. And we ask, like, okay, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now, so we can see the efforts that you're putting in, so maybe we can make fine-tune adjustments. And they're like, I'm not doing anything. And we're like, oh, okay, well, let's start first and then course correct along the way. So you just, like, went, which I think is great.
Yeah. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off or anything. If you had something
No,
else to
you're
add.
good. You go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got scrappy, and, like, it was out of my nature too, because I love being, like, the more nonchalant, like, I crack a joke, and then while everyone's laughing, I'll go this way, like it's one of those things, like, accept the spotlight only on my terms kind of thing. And so putting myself out there and, like, acting like this is important to me. Like, I'm trying to build up a portfolio. I'm trying to do these things. Like, this is where I'm at. Like, it was vulnerable. It was a vulnerable state. And so just sometimes you have to get out of your own way. And that's exactly what I had to do. And so it's just this slow build over time, where I get a booking, and then I would rent a bunch of gear just to make it happen. I knew I had my North Star. I knew where things were going. I'd seen what you guys had been talking about. I'd seen what other people in the industry were doing, and it was amazing. And so I'm just subconsciously taking notes. I'm learning by osmosis. I'm listening to the podcast. I'm trying to deeply involve myself as much as I can, because I do have that addictive personality. And if I'm passionate about something, I just go all in. And my wife claims it might be a little bit of autism, and she's probably right. The spectrum's wide. And so I might be dancing on that. And it benefits you if you can kind of point it in the right direction, right?
It's true.
And so, yeah. And so then that's just kind of what I did. And I utilized, like, even Amazon would, like, offer, like, interest-free 5-month payments. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So just getting scrappy and just slowly building over time is just kind of been my mentality. It's just, like, baby step after baby step. Like, sure, there's going to be days where I feel frustrated or defeated or whatever else. But if I'm making even just the tiniest step forward, I know I'm going to get to where I'm going. Like, I'm never going to be, like, some viral sensation. Like, that's just not me. But I know over time, like, I'm going to become who I want to become. And my goal is just to become notorious in the best way possible. I want people talking about me as much as possible. And so I'm putting myself out there to second shoot. I've never done that before, and meeting up with all these different things because I just want my face and my name out there, and it's paid off. And then, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I know I've been talking quite a bit here, but I just always knew I was going to work with you guys. It's just, okay, I got to get the steps there. I got to get everything in between, like not in a self-sabotaging, like imposter syndrome kind of way, but I felt like it was coming from a realistic place. It's like, I got to be somewhat established and have something to work with, or like you guys, this like 3 months isn't going to be beneficial. And so I finally felt like I got to a point where I'm like, okay, like even financially, like we're not in the best place because there's so many things happened this past, like we filed for bankruptcy even. Like we had to, like, it was a complete clean slate, and we're still working our way from that. But it's like, we have that North Star, we're getting there. And we, like me and my wife, this is the happiest we've been in years. And our relationship is the best it's been in years too, because we're both fully aligned with what we want. And we're figuring that out. And these weddings and everything else are so amazing. And so, yeah. And then it led me to you guys in the 3 months, and it was the best thing for my business. It's been amazing, but I'll stop talking.
Okay.
I'll let you guys guide this wherever you want to take it.
You took us on like such a journey. I love it. Like I think it's really great because so many people only consider business and life as like a very linear experience.
Yeah.
And it's good for people to hear kind of the peaks and the valleys and the twists and the turns that it takes in order to get to where you are. And not everyone's story is just all rainbows and butterflies. There's a lot of turmoil and things going on behind the scenes that no one would ever see on Instagram, but it's going on in our personal lives. And Kelly has those things that she's dealing with. I have those things that I'm dealing with. We just don't publicize it. You know what I mean? So no one would know, but I think it's really great, like, for other people to hear because they can relate to that too. Kind of dialing it back. So you've like talked about it a little bit. So you joined Mastermind in May of this year. It ran 12 weeks, May through the first week of August. And I would love to kind of hear your kind of rekindling your business over the last couple years. You said you started listening to the podcast 2023. So if you kind of look at the beginning of 2025 this year, how did your business look? Like what was going on with you over your Cardinal Wedding Films, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So paint a picture of what that looked like. Then I would love to hear kind of after that what you did in your business and how things are looking and the trajectory you see yourself on right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Cardinal Wedding Films, cardinals were just almost a symbol. Like cardinals would always pop up when like I was going through tough times. It was almost like, hey, you've got this. And so I kind of leaned into that, and it served its purpose. And leading up to 2025. So 2025 is like technically my full second season. So first season I did in 2024, I did 11 weddings. And then 2025, I did 13 weddings. And I was averaging anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500, 4,000 kind of, it was sprinkling in there, but like the average was 3. And it was very much like some things were easy to get couples, but a lot of times it was a lot of convincing. Like the branding wasn't there, the messaging wasn't there. Like I thought it was to a point, but I knew it needed some help. And so, yeah, I just knew if I was going to get to this next level, I better take advantage of it now. And I know you mentioned on podcasts how people are like, oh, it's so busy. Like the timing of this was perfect because it's setting me up for 2026, and we're just hitting the ground running, and it's really, really exciting. And so, I was about $3,000, $3,500, and that was kind of pushing it for some couples.
Yeah. And so you uncovered something too, like when these clients come to us, and this is for everybody listening too, when you get to a point where you're like convincing, like you're trying to convince that it's a worthy investment, you're trying to convince, and I've seen your work, Mark, like your work is solid. It was just exactly what you said. Like the brand was not at a place where those clients were able to just like see the value in making that investment at the price point that you were offering it at. It's the same thing where you look at like handbags, for example. There's a wide array of what you could spend on a handbag. You can go to Target, grab a handbag for $30. You can go to Birkin, get a handbag for $30,000, right? So there's so many, like, there's in the brand that they've built and like the legacy and even the factor of like Birkin and how rare it is and things like that. They've done so many things. And so it's all with intentionality so that they can hit a certain price point. So you went back and we did like a full rebrand with you. You changed your business name. You totally revamped. We helped you revamp your social media. We did a lot of portfolio stuff with you. I remember like looking at the website and being like, ooh, okay, Mark, this is okay. I'm going to be hard on you. I don't know if you remember this. I'm like in the thing and I'm like, I'm going to be hard on you, but it's because I can see the greatness ahead of how much this is going to change you. And so we worked through all that, and that was great. So now in looking, you said, okay, cool, this was perfect. 12 weeks. It set me up for 2026, and it's really exciting. What is really exciting about 2026? Kind of walk us and the listeners through that.
Yeah, I have to say, you both gave me exactly what I wanted and what I needed. And it was that hands-on, like personalized touch. And that's exactly what I got from both you, Taylor, and you, Kelly. And so, yeah, I remember watching that video of you critiquing my website. I'm like in bed on my phone, my wife's next to me, and she's just cracking up. She's like, hey, my favorite personality hire.
Yeah.
She's
Oh
like,
gosh, she's probably like, who is this girl?
no, she's like, who are you, Mark? Like, what? She's like, she knows me. She's like, you little schmoozer. And so, yeah, that was fantastic. And that is exactly what I needed, because I knew I needed that tough love, and I needed to be vulnerable because, again, it's hard to be like, I know my work's better than this, but this is what I have. And so you have to be vulnerable and put that out there. And so, yeah, you dissected it perfectly. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I took every single note and like got away from the gut checks of like, oh, like, no, I'm just going to listen. I'm going to go for it. And then everything started coming together, and I started seeing the brand in brand new eyes. Like, I started seeing my work differently. And I'm like, oh, damn, like, this is good. Like, okay. And so like, it just made sense. Like, I was almost seeing it from like the client's perspective, the couple's perspective. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like, just feeling that just gave me a renewed confidence in myself. And I'm like, perfect. And so, yeah, leading into 2026, like right when that 12 weeks ended, inquiries started coming in. And again, I love the whole 12-week year that you've talked about. Like, that book is awesome. Like, there's so much you can do in that 12 weeks. And I love, because it's easy to be like, oh, we got a year. We can work on this over time. I'll eventually get to my website. And it's like, no, we're doing the Instagram. We're doing the website. We're doing it now. And so, yeah, pretty much right after that, I had gotten an inquiry from this couple on Instagram who was referred by another photographer that I actually shot my very first wedding with. It was like, they found me through a Google ad, and I did some, all the marketing psychology that I learned from the online courses. And so like, it was just such a funny wedding in the sense of like, there's not much to it, but this photographer had built quite a name up for herself, and she has like 50, 60 something thousand followers now. And so, and it just so happened that was my first wedding with her. She really liked me. And then she's referred me now 4 weddings. And so this was one of those referrals. And the couple reached out to me. She's like, hey, this photographer referred you. And then instead of leaning into what I would normally do is okay, yeah, great. Like, if you don't mind, like, what's your email? Let's set up like time to call, whatever, like get them on the phone. I'm like, no, I'm just going to send over my collections. We worked on our collections page. Taylor broke it down with me on the one-on-one. Like, I'm feeling good. I feel good about the price points. We raised everything by basically $1,500. So instead of starting out at 25, we're starting out at 4, and then 55 and 75. And instead of like trying to be like, I need to schmooze them, I had this renewed confidence, and I saw my brand in a new light. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Here's my collections. Let me know what you think. And immediately, within a couple minutes, like, great, I want your middle package. I want that $6,000 package.
No way.
Boom. That
Boom.
easy, folks.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I love this. I just want to make sure you're not a Nigerian prince or anything like that. And so let's just get on the call just for a couple minutes. And so yeah, that booked. And then another planner that I had recently worked with in the past, she had reached out like immediately after, and I was ready to go. Everything was ready to go because of what you guys had taught. And I'm like, perfect. Here you go. Here are my collections. If you need anything else from me. She's like, yep, I think they're going to go with that first collection. I think she was testing me out to be like, let's do a lower end wedding. Let's see how he does. Like, we have worked with him in the past, but it was like the couple had chose me. And so I think this was like a safe wedding. And so I'm like, great, I'm just going to knock it out of the park for you. And then again, that same photographer referred another person, and they wanted the middle package too. Same thing, through a DM. But after getting on the phone with her, I'm like, okay, truthfully, with what you're getting, like, I think the first package would be a better fit for you. So let's go that route. And she's like, thank you. She's like, you're showing up with integrity. You're not just doing it for the paycheck, because ultimately, like, I've tried going down just the straight money route. I've tried just doing that, and it never works for me. Like, I have to show up, I have to be in alignment. I have to come heart-centered, as dumb as that sounds. Like, I have to toe that line between business and strategy, but also just being heart-centered, I guess. And
Yeah.
so yeah, and it's just been the easiest thing getting these bookings, like,
It
truthfully.
sounds like it's like easy now. Like
Yeah.
the way that you've been explaining these just rolling in. And one of the things I love too is that planner coming back to you who was maybe one that the client, which all of us kind of have those, like in the
Hmm.
beginning where the client kind of finds you and then you're kind of brought onto this wedding that has a planner now and it's a whole new world. And when you're first starting out, you have no idea what to do with a planner now on site and that middleman, and lots of toes are stepped on and mistakes are made. I mean, I did it too, and that's literally what we like walk all of our students through so that they're not making those same mistakes. But I will say, I can say with 100% confidence that this planner was reminded by you again because of the branding work that you had done. And now all of a sudden, where you were just like that client hired videographer, she's looking at you now being like, okay, like, I see you, Mark, now. I
Hmm.
see that you're a great candidate now for my clients. I'm respecting this brand work that you're doing. I'm respecting the portfolio. You're speaking the language. Now I'm going to go ahead and you're attracting my attention now,
Yeah.
which is totally everything that we love, we want. And that's why that we hear from so many people that, maybe are on the fence about Mastermind, that they're like, well, I don't even get noticed by planners. And we're like, well, let's help you get noticed by planners. We can do that.
Exactly.
So that's so cool. I'm so proud of you. That's
Well, thank
amazing.
you. Yeah, I have to add. So Miranda, Rosemary Films, she went through Level Up, and I had second shot with her, and I asked her, I'm like, "How was your experience? Like, how was it?" And she's like, 1,000% do it. Like, it's a game changer. Go for it. And I'm like, okay. And so I had second shot with her, and then
Okay.
it just happened to be that planner. So it was like, I worked with her once, and then she sees me again, and I'm associated, by second shooting with Miranda, and then she sees the branding. And so it's just, you got to put in those steps. I want to be
Yes.
notorious, so I got to show up. And so these second shooting jobs, I'm going above and beyond. Like, whatever you need, I got you. Like, I'm moving around like a madman without showing that I'm a madman. Like, whatever you need, I'm all hands on deck, and that's how I approach everything. And so.
Cool. That's amazing. Well, cool. Taylor, anything else that we want to highlight on Mark's incredible journey?
No, I think that really all it comes down to is really knowing where you want to go. And I feel like that's what started for you, Mark. Like, you keep kind of referring to this North Star. You know exactly what you want. Then you devised a game plan to make it happen, and you actually took action. You did the thing. So many people sit kind of living in this like forever wishing and dreaming stage. They feel a little bit intimidated by the steps that they need to take, or they don't know what to do. And I think that once you start taking action, it becomes easier. And it like, honestly, like, you admitted to yourself, like, you didn't really know exactly what to do. So you sought help. And there's so many people out there who have so much incredible potential. Like, we just look at your work on Instagram, not you, but like other people. If we look at your work on
No,
Instagram,
not
we're like,
mine. Yeah,
no,
I'm
I
the
mean, yours is
personality
great too,
hire.
but I'm talking more
Just
of
kidding.
everyone else listening. We're like, your work is amazing. Like, if you were to just let us get our hands on your business, like, you could just like pew, like, skyrocket to the top. And I feel like that's like kind of the trajectory that you're on now, Mark. Like, the banner film on your website, like, amazing. Love it. Like, let's get more of that going. And in 2 years, like, you're going to be unrecognizable compared to where you are now. Like, you will be notorious. And there's so many of our students who we're entering our 6th round of Mastermind this fall. We started in the spring of 2023. And there are students who have caught up to Kelly and myself, and like, they're now doing the same caliber of weddings as us, and like doing the same things. And like, that's what I think you're going to be doing too. And it's
Yeah.
really exciting to see. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun. There's so much room. Honestly, there's so much room for everyone to succeed. And you are just like now on that path. And now it's just like rinse and repeat. Just keep going. You're
Yeah.
there.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm thankful, and I'm sticking with you guys. I'm part of alumni. Like, I'm in it to
Yes.
win it. There's a lot to learn, and 12 weeks is a short amount of time. So yeah, I'm whatever I need to do. I'm gonna do it.
It flies by.
It really flies by. Yeah. And this next fall one is actually going to be a condensed 8 weeks. So those students who are already in it, we have a lot of pre enrollment students that are already in. And It's going to be fast paced, but it's going to be fun, and they're going to be ready for 2026. So that's so cool.
Commit.
Mark?
That's all I have to say. Just go all in. Don't make any excuses. Like 8 weeks is so fast. And if you do, it's gonna pay off for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had a chance, you're in alumni, have you had a chance to watch Jose's talk that we had just earlier this week?
I haven't. No.
You should go watch it, because a few of the things that you mentioned with like how you want to serve, the love that you have for weddings, like that you're more heart led, so much of his approach is woven into like what you're talking about. So I think it'll really resonate with you. Of course, he's an incredibly talented artist, but like at its core, and it kind of reminded me of like a little bit of you. He talked about how getting his clients to laugh on a wedding day, if he can just get like a little quick laugh out of them, he's realized that he's like broken down a barrier to where he can just like go and serve. And like, it's so helpful to have them in front of his lens once he gets that. And I could totally see that from you too, like wanting to get like a little bit of a laugh, or, you know, really being that presence on a wedding day that people enjoy. And that is your differentiator. So for those sitting here listening, thinking like, okay, what is my differentiator? Everyone has a different differentiator. As Taylor mentioned, some of it's more work-led, like really, really great, talented people out there. And then others are like, I can serve you really, really well on the wedding day and make you calm and make you just a positive presence. I see that in you too, Mark, and your work's really good too. So you're just like a combo of two.
I'm a unicorn. You can say it. Like it's a crazy thing. Like when you have all these amazing things going for you. So like, yeah, I'm blessed.
Wow. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. Anyway, so
blessed.
Yeah, if you guys like want any tips on being humble, let me know. I got it figured out.
I'm dropping my
first place.
Yeah, on humility next month.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Love it. All right, Taylor, you want to land this plane?
We're going to land the plane. Mark, this is a great conversation. We expected nothing less from you, but you did take us on a fun little journey that was a surprise. For those who are listening, can you please tell them where they can find you online in case they want to check out your work or connect?
Yeah, so we just upgraded. We're Mark Keysor everywhere, and so the spelling's a little funny. It's not your typical. It's Keysor, so MarkKeysor. That's my website. That's Instagram. Come say hi if you want to. If you want to learn how to be more humble, like let's do it. Like it's gonna take some work, but I think we can get there. And yeah, we didn't get to the conspiracy theories, but we'll get to that next episode. I think we've got some really amazing things to unravel, and I'm excited to chat with you guys because I know that's what your audience wants.
Next time. Yeah, for sure.
Part 2 coming in 2026.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much,
wait.
Mark. Again, we're so proud of you. You were such a fun student to have inside of the program, and your success has just been so fun to watch and fulfilling. So we wish you the best in the years ahead. I know that we'll be keeping in touch through alumni and other stuff. So thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.